weeks ago, on the last day of Hanukkah, I attended one of the most joyous occasions of my life so far. I attended a Seudat Hodaya for Rivka bat Yael the Thanksgiving meal to express the family's gratitude to God for the recovery of little Rivki Razel. So for those of you who haven't been following little Rivki's story, 8 months ago, little Rivki, who's the daughter of singer Yonatan Razel, at the end of April on Israeli Independence Day, she fell from a ladder leading to the roof of her house, and she fell on her head. And basically that night, then she almost died. The surgeon who operated her on that night told Rivki's mother recently that she did not believe that Rivki was going to survive that first night after the fall. After the fall of Rivki, she was not breathing, and her mother resuscitated her, and things were looking extremely, to say the least, extremely grim. And today, 8 months later, Rivki is a walking miracle. She's walking, I saw this morning, she's like walking basically like a regular kid. She's running, she's talking, she talks a little bit slowly, but like mentally she's 100%, which is unbelievable. And she is amazing. So I wanted to just tell you, I want to just repeat to you the amazing things that Yael, Rivki's mother, told us at the Seudat Hodaya. And so first of all, so Yael, when she started speaking, it was a very small group of people. It was mostly family and just a few friends. And Yael said, she said, you know, I'm not a public speaker. She said, I don't like speaking in front of people. You know that about me. She said, but I really feel like I have to do Pirsomei Nisa. I have to like publicize this miracle that happened to our daughter and that happened to our family. So the first thing she told us was an amazing story which took place a month before the accident. She and her husband Yonatan went to Harav Kanievsky in Bnei Brak. Rabbi Kanievsky, he is, one of the greatest rabbis alive today, maybe the greatest rabbi alive today. And they went to Rabbi Kanievsky to ask a very important question. Yael and Yonatan were thinking of leaving Nachlaot, of leaving our neighborhood, because our neighborhood is a very, very religiously, very mixed neighborhood. There's a lot of people who don't keep Shabbat, and it's a very mixed kind of neighborhood. So Yael and Yonatan, they asked Rabbi Kanievsky if they should leave Nachlaot and move to like 100% religious neighborhood. And Yael told us, she said, I assumed that Rabbi Kanievsky was going to say, go for it. He said, pack your bags, get out of there, move to like a totally, Torah-centered religious neighborhood. But Rabbi Kanievsky really surprised them. He said to Yonatan, he said, no. He said, stay in Nachlaot. And he said to them the following words. He said, Shetiyu sham chazakim bayachad. He said, stay in Nachlaot so that you can be strong there together. So Yael and Yonatan, they had no idea what Rabbi Kanievsky was talking about. She said, and after the accident, they understood that Rabbi Kanievsky had, on some level, known that something was about to happen, and he understood that it's only Nachlaot, where all of the Razel's friends and all of their family lives, where we all really came together around this whole accident, around this whole tragedy, and really, came together. It's an amazing story. So Yael told us about the first Shabbat. Their first Shabbat at the hospital, and all of the Razels came together to Hadassah Ein Kerem Hospital, and Rivki was in a coma, as she was for several weeks after the accident, and they were singing a song, I think it was Lechadodi, and Rivki moved a finger. She moved her finger once. And Yael just told us, like with tears in her eyes, just remembering like their tremendous excitement over that Rivki moved a finger. Like it was her first time. It's the first time she had moved since the accident. And Yael just told us like how this whole experience just taught her to be thankful for every little thing. Like Rivki, I remember also, I remember when we were davening that Rivki should be able to breathe on her own. We were davening that Rivki should learn how to swallow on her own. We were davening that Rivki should learn how to sit on her own. all the different stages. And she said, like, it just taught her how to appreciate every little thing. That every little thing that we have, every little accomplishment, every little thing is such a miracle. She told, and Yael told us an amazing story. Yael went to a woman who is one of the most senior physical therapists in Israel. She lectures all around Israel, and she lectures all around the world, and she's worked for many decades, and she's worked with thousands of patients. And this physical therapist, she said, Yael Razel, I want you to know, she says, in all the years that I've been working, she says, I've been working for decades, I've seen thousands of patients, and I have never, ever, in my whole life, my whole career, seen a recovery like Rivka's. I have never seen a child with that serious of a brain injury to have such a dramatic recovery. And right when Yael was speaking with this woman, with a physical therapist, a student who's learning physical therapy, who's studying physical therapy, was walking by, and the senior physical therapist said to the student, said, look at this girl. She said, look at Rivka. Said, give her a good look. Says, because you will never ever see a case like this again. So it was an incredibly, incredibly emotional event, just I think for all of us who were close to the situation, to just see that now, like to just see the miracles, the incredible miracles that took place. And so when I was leaving, then Yael had thanked everybody in the room. And she had said, thank you, most of the people there was all of her family and her sisters-in-laws and her mother-in-law and her mother and her sister. And Yael just said, like with tears in her eyes, she just said, I just want to thank everybody in this room for all of the help that you gave me and how you supported me through this difficult time. But I sort of assumed, like, I personally I wasn't really part of the whole thing. Okay, so like I was very, very concerned, like a lot of us in the neighborhood and a lot of us around the world. But, I didn't really do, on an actual practical level, I didn't do anything. I didn't even make a meal for them because there were so many people who wanted me to prepare meals that they never got to Weisberg to like ask. They never actually got to my turn to make a meal. But on a practical level, I did nothing for them. But when I was leaving, Yael, with tears in her eyes, said, Hannah, thank you so much for everything. And when I was leaving, like I was really confused. I thought, like, why was Yael so moved? Why was she saying with so much like emotion, thank you to me? And then I realized the reason why she was thanking me with so much emotion was because of you, with all of you who are watching this today. Because I asked you moms all over the world to daven for Rivka bat Yael. And I think that, more than anything, that Yael and Yonatan believe that it was the prayers of people all over the world, like this tremendous, I don't know whether it's unprecedented. I'm sure that there were major rabbis who are sick, then there's maybe a similar kind of outpouring of prayers and, emotion over someone, over like an injured or sick person. But for such a little girl, for like this 4-year-old girl, I don't know if it's ever happened. I don't know. I know when I would post something about Rivka bat Yael, over the months, like I would post these Rivka bat Yael Razel updates, I was flooded with emails from all over the world, from all over Israel, of course, but all over America, Canada, England, France, Italy, Argentina, all over, like Jews all over the world were davening and praying with all of their hearts for little Rivka bat Yael. And I don't know, I may be wrong, I don't know if that's ever happened before. I don't know if the Jewish people has just so come around, being united around one little girl. I think it's just amazing. And I just have to say that, like, before this whole story with Rivka bat Yael, with little Rivki, I gave like mouth service to the whole prayer thing. Like I would say, let's pray for so-and-so, or this is, please pray for so-and-so that they should have an easy birth. Please pray for so-and-so that they should recover, whatever. But I cannot say that I really believed it. And now this whole story with Rivki, I think it's really true. I really, really think it's true. I don't know how, and I don't know what does, but I think prayer really works. I think it's really, really true. And maybe some of you are thinking it's ridiculous, like you already know that, it's already clear to you. It wasn't so clear to me. And if any of you it's not so 100% clear to you, like I saw it. Yael was telling us that recently they were asking a doctor, Rivka had started walking, she would like hold on to, her mother's stroller, or she would hold on to her mother's hand and she was able to walk. And they asked her like, how long will it be until Rivka actually starts walking on her own, unassisted? And the doctor said, I don't know, like probably around 6 months, 6 months, maybe a little bit more. Within a week, Rivka was walking on her own. And today she's running, she's running. Her grandmother said like she can't keep up with Rivka. It's unbelievable. So I just believe from this whole story, like it really, really works. Like prayer works. And I decided I'm going to write up the name Rivka Bat Yael. I'm going to put it in my kitchen, and anytime I give up, anytime I think that someone's like a hopeless case, like there's no hope, I'm going to look at this name Rivka Bat Yael and remember how, 8 months ago she died and she came back to life. And today she's like almost a normal kid. It's unbelievable. Like Rivka is back with us. So now that I have you as a captive audience, please do not stop your videos. I'm just going to say a chapter of Tehillim, of Psalms, and I want you all to listen. And we're going to be saying this for continued recovery, continuing this miraculous recovery for Rivka Bat Yael, and also for my friend Chagit Bat Leah, who is in need of great, great, great miracles. A 39-year-old mother of 5 young children who's in need of big, big miracles. Okay. So this is Peptalk, the 20th chapter. למנצח מזמור לדוד, ינך אדוני ביום צרה, ישגבך השם אלוהי יעקב, ישלח עזרך מקודש ומציון יסעדך, יזכור כל מנחותיך, ועולתך ידשנה סלע, ייתן לך כלבביך וכל עצתך ימלא. נורא בישועתך ובשם אלוהינו נדגול, ימלא אדוני כל משאלותיך, ואתה ידעתי כי הושיע אדוני משיחו, יענהו משמי קדשו, בברוד ישר ימינו. אלי ברכב ואלי בסוסים, ואנחנו בשם אדוני אלוהינו נזכיר. הם קראו ונפלו ואנחנו קמנו ונתעודד. אדוני הושיע המלך יעננו ביום קראנו. May we continue to see great miracles.